up, guys? We are live here at Preliminaries and busted out the good old Dragon Ball Super again. We had prelims here at PPG. Shout out to the staff running a great event, super smooth. But set 7, just legal, so a lot of people are really excited. I was excited. It was actually my first time reading some of the new cards a couple days ago. I really wanted to play some Dragon Ball Super. Hadn't played since Origins. Was really busy playing Transformers. But a lot of new cards, very interesting. I'm actually a big Zamasu fan, Goku Black fan, so I decided to bring a deck that a lot of people probably consider tier 2 or tier 3, which I still believe that, but very powerful, very fun, which was the main reason why I wanted to play. I wasn't trying to go try hard with veggies or anything like Marcel, but and he still lost it. But it was fun. I came here to have fun, and I actually came away with second place, I think. We're still waiting for the pairings to be posted, but I lost the last round, so. Without further ado, by the way, please check out our Patreon, which is at Danny Hype to the Patreon content creators. So we're going to be pumping out a lot of content, a lot of competitive content for your prelims. We have a lot of deck lists that are going to be posted from this event on Patreon as well, and I'll actually do a more in-depth deck profile on Patreon. So if you guys want to get the sideboard as well as an in-depth explanation as to why certain cards were there. This is a very difficult deck to build, so you'll get that inside info there as well as from Danny Hype, Peter Katani, and Marcel Russell, of course. So without further ado, let's get into the deck. So as you can see here, Goku Black and Zamasu. It's from set 7. A really cool card because it actually has one of the unique abilities that you can actually awaken when your opponent's at 3 energy or more. So you can pretty much, whenever you want, awaken. The back side is essentially the same side as the front side, so you're really not at an advantage or disadvantage. I mean, you're 15k power on the defensive, which is okay, but very cool because you draw a card on top of a card. That's awesome. And then when you attack, you actually look at the top 5 cards and you can get a Goku Black or a Zamasu. So really cool. And then backside, same exact thing. When you attack, top 5, Goku Black or Zamasu. And then the cool thing is that if your opponent has 8 or more energy, you win the game. Pretty much. You take 4 of your opponent's life and put it to the bottom of their deck. So it's almost there's never been a game where my opponent's at more than 4 life. And then the other activate main, which I only activated once or twice because it's not that great. You use 1 energy and you put any battle card back to your opponent's hand. So it's not as good as Gogeta. I love Gogeta. Gogeta ramp. The 1 energy to put, or 2 energy to put something back to the bottom of the deck. I wish it had 2 costs to put something at the bottom, but it's only 1. So I guess back to hand is balance, right? So let's start off with some of the obvious cards here. The super combo that you want to play here is Helios. Yeah, Helios. That's how you spell it. That's how you say it. So if your leader's a god, you get to play this, which is great because it's a discard 1, draw 2 super combo. So it's kind of like a Hoi. It's not Paragus, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Sucks when you hit it off the top off Goku Black, but whatever. The only other off-color card that we play is Massan, the Mysterious Warrior. This is here for support. This is my only Overwhelm card. This can be anything that you want it to be, but this is good against my worst matchup, which was Veggies. 3 SSB Vegito, really cool at protecting your life. I like the card because it lets you, also draw a card. This deck doesn't have a lot of draw power, so it did its role. 2 copies of the battle card counterplays. Now there's a bunch of these in every color. There's the Champa as well. I chose to go with this one because it actually relieves pressure off the board, draws you a card, and no, it doesn't draw you a card. It untaps an energy, which is the most important part. Untapping the energy, it makes it a 2-drop already because you're playing multicolor, so it essentially only comes down for 1. Thank you, bro. Have a good one. Then for the Zamasu, well, the only yellow card I think I play in the whole deck, the only mono yellow card, is the Zamasu, the Mastermind, the 2-drop. It's blocker, it's not indestructible, but it comes out for free if you have a Goku Black. Awesome card. Then the only other Zamasu that I play, I think, well, other than the other ones, but another Zamasu that I play is a multicolored one. It's a 2 mana, it's a 2 energy negate essentially, and it has Aegis to untap too. I never use the Aegis, but being able to come down as a 2 mana negate, it's like you play 8 negates in this deck, so it's pretty good. Well, actually 10 negates in this deck. You'll see later, but Super Saiyan Goku, Rose Goku Black. This card is fantastic. This card is MVP. Like, I don't play the game without this card. You need a mulligan for this card. You need to make sure that on turn 3 this guy comes down because he's super powerful. He accelerates you a turn, also accelerates your opponent a turn, but that's okay because that's the main goal of the deck, to get your opponent to 8 energy. So this guy helps you do that. 3 countdown to destruction. I saw people's Goku Zamasu decks not playing this, and it was just very worrisome. But it's great because it comes down for free and it draws you a card. This can go down to 2 if you like. I mean, the thing is you can't chain them. You can't play like multiple in one turn. So that's the only downside to the card. For boss monsters now, I play the 10-drop Zamasu. Now this can be Goku Black, or it can be Zamasu, or it can be the other Zamasu. I chose to play 2 of these because he's a monster if you get him on board. It's crazy how fast people go to 1 against you. They take life very fast because they know that you're trying to win with 8. So if you get them down to 1, you just attack for game with this. The other boss monster that we play, second boss monster that we play, is Zamasu Divine Providence. Now this guy is okay. He's not the best. I wish he had like double strike or triple strike or something, but a 30k body, indestructible is not too shabby. It does come down on 6 usually, turn 5 if you ramp yourself, and he actually thought seizes your opponent for 2 cards. So you get to take any 2 cards from your opponent's hand, put them in their energy. So it helps you get to 8, and it takes the best cards from their hand out of their hand. And then the best card out of Series 7, believe it right now.
Buy them out right now.
Buy them out right now. This card, very good. Marcel, shout out to Marcel. He actually suggested this card. It's funny because that's how I beat him. This card went up to 100k and destroyed him. Destroyed his lives and dreams. This card comes down for 5 energy. It draws you 4 cards and taps your opponent down for 4 cards. So that's already ridiculous.
That's insane.
Your opponent, the only drawback is your opponent has to have 6 cards total tapped to play this for 5. Otherwise, you have to play it for the good old 8. But we were never doing that. So.
We can get to 8.
Yeah, card is great, but I think every time I casted it, I won. And then the last multicolored card that I play is Beerus the Fickle God. I only had enough space for 2. I was already playing 42 cards. I didn't want to play more than 42 cards. I already felt dirty playing 42. So, but yeah, that's it for the battle cards. Then I played 4 Plan for Destruction. Plan for Destruction's super good. Just very good because it gives you an extra energy. It's defense, it's a 10k. This deck is very heavy on 10ks. That's the only drawback. That's the only bad thing. You can cut this to 3, honestly. I was charging 1 every game, to be fair. For Bean, if you saw the replay, the match between me and Marcel, you can see how good this is against veggies. That's enough to warrant playing 4. 2 Flying Nimbus. You also know how good this card is against veggies if you see that match. Nimbus just helps you survive, and it's a very good negate, but only as a 2-of. 4-Dimension Magic, of course, staple. In my personal touch, I haven't seen this card really in the main board of any Zamasu deck. I was gonna sideboard it, and then a couple minutes before the tournament, I decided to mainboard it. Just very good. If your leader card is blue, battle card your opponent plays has energy cost of 4 or less. Return it to the owner's hand instead of being played. Now this is very important because it stops the opponent. It stops the card from actually being played, so it doesn't get any enter the battlefield abilities or anything like that. It just returns it back to hand. So it's kind of like a man. I don't know what it's called in Magic, but I think it's called Stifle. That's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, the sideboard is going to be available to Patrons exclusively, as well as a breakdown, a little bit more in depth about why I played each card. But very fun time. It was my first tournament playing with it. I only really play tested a few times with Marcel and Peter, and shout out to them for helping me out with the build. Peter actually had his own iteration of the deck, or Marcel did, on Patreon, and we kind of went from there. So if you guys are already subscribed to Patreon, you already kind of know what to expect, but like I said, I'll give a bigger breakdown on there for those of you who want to take this to a preliminary or a regional. You want to make sure that you have all the info going into those tournaments. But definitely, if you're not on there, take it to locals, mess with your own build. It's a really fun deck to play. The only reason I played it, trust me, I did not come here to win. It just happened to happen, and it gives a little bit more credibility to this deck, hopefully. So thank you guys again for watching. Till next time.